Alright, so we're doing Volskaya Industries on attack, and you're playing tanks. So that's alright, let's go. So I'm going to see if... going to check out your team real quick. We got a Moira, we have an Anna, we have a Genji, we have a Reinhardt. Who else do we have? We have a Hanzo. We have a Zarya. And, okay. Let's see what you guys do.
Good heals, good heals.
Oh shit. Help.
I'm trying, ball coming.
Oh, kill him.
My god, it's hectic. Alright, there's a lot of stuff to say though. Okay, so that was a pretty well played fight. So we're gonna go back a little bit. Up. So apparently you are a duo with the Zarya. So I'm assuming that you two are pretty comfortable around each other in terms of communication. So the thing that's really cool about Zarya and Reinhardt is that Reinhardt can use Zarya's bubbles extremely efficiently. So you and your Zarya need to be communicating about when she's going to bubble you. So right here we see that the entire enemy team is over here, but you decided to go over here for some reason, which I mean I guess ended up working fine. But what I would have done is I would have pushed the right side with my shield up, have the Zarya tell me when she's about to bubble me, or tell the Zarya when to bubble me, and right as she bubbles me, either start swinging my hammer, or do a little damage, send a flame strike, anything like that. That's going to immediately use the entire damage thing of the bubble. So your Zarya is going to gain 40 charge, which is going to be pretty good for her, and you're going to have a little bit of damage and have made space, because something that you might know, you might not understand about main tanks is that their job is not necessarily to take damage, their job is to make space. So if you're making space, then you're doing your job correctly. So here I would have shoved them a little bit more into the right side and used the Zarya bubble to really just dominate the enemy Reinhardt and push him out of position. Let's see what happens next. So you go left side. The Mei just poked her head out like a second. You didn't really have much time to react to it, and walls you off. So this was all pretty good. You managed to get healed. All fine. Here you should have been left clicking instead of right clicking, but whatever. That Mei wall might have just saved you. And so right now you see when you get the bubble, if you ever see that you have bubble on you, drop your shield immediately, because if you have bubble on you and you are not taking damage, then it's a wasted bubble, right?
Let's go main first one, first push.
So just a little bit of a nitpick. Right here, when you were done with your charge, you still had quite a bit of space that you could have gone without your shield, and now you see that you're currently attacking with only 1500 shield, so if you'd let your shield recharge a little bit more, you might be in a better spot. I'm not sure. Just a little nitpick. So charging in that situation is never going to be a good... Unless, wait a minute. Did you countercharge, or did he countercharge you? I can't really see. Oh no, okay, it was a countercharge. Great job. That's good. A lot of people at your ELID wouldn't really know to countercharge. Oh, that's sad. That's unlucky. It was a really good attempt though. So like right there, shouldn't have really charged. Should have just kept left clicking, but I mean he died anyway, so whatever. Here, once again, you had the bubble, so you should have been dropping your shield. And your team is at such a great advantage that you shouldn't really be that worried about taking damage.
I'm down,
Now,
down.
obviously, yes, because the enemies managed to get the number advantage. But before that point, when there was only like 2 or 3 enemies on point, it would have been good for you to just keep swinging because that would have given your supports more to heal, and it would have given them more ult charge. So here you should be telling your team to fall back. I think they're falling back, so it's alright.
I'm at half for shedding.
The important thing is they lose that all.
Should call out the people that are behind. Alright, that's
Down
alright.
one tank.
But like when you notice that Winston is right behind you,
Get him.
you should call it
Go,
out
go,
like
go,
that
go, go,
everybody
go.
just collapses on him, but it was alright
Push,
anyways.
push, push, push,
Just another
push,
2
push,
down.
push, push.
You're doing the right thing, just telling them to push. Here, once again, I wouldn't have charged, I would have just kept walking.
Right back.
Let's go back a little bit.
Push, 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 push.
Here, instead of charging, I would just rounded the corner, and right before rounding the corner, prepare a fire strike, send it in that way, and then just keep walking while hugging this corner right here. Because as we're about to see, when we go around the corner, turn around. Who is that? I can't really see who that is over there. We have one person here. We have a tank here. This tank is currently right in the faces of our team. So if you had just hugged this corner and then put your shield right there, he wouldn't be doing shit, right? And your team would be able to kill him super easily. But instead, right now, your shield is only being used for yourself, whereas it should be your team's shield. So right now, I assume you're just going to walk back to your team.
I got separated.
Sorry, I got shot.
Alright. So there, that wouldn't have happened if you hadn't gotten out of position in the with the initial charge, but whatever, it's fine. Your team has quite the advantage, so should be telling them to fall back.
I just made monkey pop.
Because right now, if
get our ults
every person that dies
and
right now
everything last.
is just a stagger, right? And you never want to be staggered. You should kill that bitch.
Long juices.
Oh, monkey down.
Did they swap Reinhardt for Winston? I think they did. Yeah, they did. So they currently have no shield. So you want to keep track of the Winston bubble, and whenever you see that he's used it, when it's gone, you can just hammer down to your, oh, okay, Solar Shatter, that's alright. So I would try to not charge anywhere near as much. I hope you don't get killed for this. Alright, that's good. I would try not to charge as much as you do, because it keeps taking you out of the fight. So even on the off chance that you do manage to hit somebody, it still takes you out of the fight for a little while, right? And that's something you don't want to be doing, because as Ryan, your job is to protect your teammates. So if you're not right in front of them, you're no longer protecting them, so they're very vulnerable. But this fight was won, so it was all good in the end. Alright, defense time. What kind of team are we running? So, Ryan, Zarya again. I see you and... Why is this freezing? There we go. Alright, skip ahead a bit.
I missed it, man.
The loading is slow because I'm uploading something as well.
XQC at work today, and I was like, you know what? I miss tanking, and so I went back to it.
Hell yeah, tanking's fun as fuck.
Call of Duty is fun and everything, but no one does the objectives like this, and this is more fun. Like, it's more rewarding when you win with a team. Plus, it's ranked. So.
Alright, so once again here, you want to be communicating with your Zarya and
Stupid
her bubbling you. Also right here, this isn't a really great starting position, right? You want to be right there. Oh boy. Okay. Alright, if you want.
Good heals. Here we go. Get it. Shit.
Alright, well, before we go any further, let's see. Right here, when you kind of like went around the corner and went for the charge into the truck, um, maybe that works sometimes for you in gold, but that was a pretty good quote. I don't remember who said it, but it was, if it works for you in gold, that's great, but if it doesn't work in plat or diamond, for example, then you're never going to reach plat or diamond with that strat. If it works in gold, it's going to work in gold, right? But if you were playing like a plat, you wouldn't be doing that, and you would eventually reach plat uh, and not be punished for making that mistake, if that makes any sense at all.
Nice.
Here your Zarya saved your ass. Well, kind of, not really.
Good heals. Here we go. Good.
Yeah. So that's good shielding. I'm glad you're shielding.
Shit.
A lot of Reinhardts in that situation would only be left clicking, and it's infuriating because you're supposed to be protecting your team, which is good because that's exactly what you were doing.
Shane, you can't.
I'm so greedy.
It's alright, I'm pulling back here. I got shatter.
Your dogs are crazy.
No, he's right here. I think he's right here.
I got shatter, get ready for a fatty.
Thank you. That's why I
Fat.
love you. Oh, you took him out, my God.
So just a little note about the Graviton Surge. Here it was totally fine because there was only one enemy in the Graviton Surge. But in other situations where your Zarya grabs and there's maybe 3 or 4 people in there, what you want to do is send your Fire Strike through it and then just keep left clicking. Because your charge is going to hit one person, which is great. But then after that, you're not dealing any more damage to anybody else in the grav, right? So I would only ever charge into a grav if they had an ulting Zenyatta, because all your damage would be nullified, or in this case if there's only 1 or 2 people in the grav. So here it was fine, but just in other situations know that left clicking is much better.
Oh, you took him out, my God.
Yeah, deflect this, asshole.
Alright guys, remember. We need to be left.
They're coming back. Be wary, Gooch.
So one last thing, well not last thing, but like, hold on, is sometimes you're a little bit too conservative with your Fire Strikes. I think you see the Fire Strike as a damage dealer, so you're saving it to deal damage, when you should be seeing it as an ult charge builder. Because as Reinhardt, there's only two ways that you're going to get ult charge. Either by using your left click, which requires you to be in their faces, so it's kind of dangerous in that sense. Using your shift, your charge, which is very dangerous in a lot of cases. Or by using your E, which is, for the most part, very harmless. Every target that you hit with your Fire Strike will give you 7% ult charge. So like right here, as the enemy Rein, who is holding a shield, meaning he's walking very slowly, if you just sent a Fire Strike his way, you would probably have the Fire Strike back up by the next fight, and you would have an extra 7% ult charge, which would get you that much closer to your next ultimate. So try to use your Fire Strikes a little bit more liberally, because they're very useful for that.
They're coming back. Be wary, Gooch.
Okay, I can all just protect me.
Go upstairs by the bridge. I swear, go upstairs by the bridge.
Mine's going around. Oh, this is my favorite.
Nice.
Good job, Burrows. Good job.
So here, just as a little quick rollout, I wouldn't really call it a rollout, but like, you know what I mean, fucking, is to not charge here, but to just walk around this first corner, right? And then over here after, like, you're going to have the little room over here with the mini. You just go around there, and then this is the point with the circle right here. You just charge straight through there, right? That's going to be a much more effective use of the charge, and you're going to get to point much faster.
Yo, if when I'm dead, I can bubble me.
Yeah, just as long as I had bubble.
I can call it out beforehand.
Look at this Genji out. God damn.
I'm on my way. Are you fucking me in the face?
Yeah, so...
Oh boy.
Yeah, never charge, essentially. Like, a lot of people say it as a meme, but it's actually very good advice to, like, remove your your shift key, because for the most part, it's just going to get you into trouble.
Go, 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 I got shatter. Go, 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 I got shatter.
But at the same time, it was also a little bit unlucky. Except that once you get to High Plat Diamond, the enemy Reinhardts would actually have the good reaction time to shatter right as they see you charge. So here it was luck. But if you climb up 500 SR, then the enemy Reinhardts are going to be doing that consistently because it's just in the reaction timing. It's no longer luck.
Drag him in so I can shatter.
Inspector too.
It was a nice fire strike. Did you... Wait, hold on a minute. Oh, that's a shame.
Oh my god.
Okay, let's see.
Shatter.
I want to see where this charge came from. Okay, yeah, so you could hear the charge through your headphone. You just didn't react to it, but that's alright.
Oh my god. Insta fucking death.
That made me so mad that I fucked that up.
I didn't even hear that fucking tire, bro. I don't know. I hope we got that. They got it.
You good. Swing on him, bro. You good? Oh, shit.
Yeah, I wasn't good before. I had to do what I was doing.
How many are there?
Ouch.
No, back up. Don't give him any more ult.
Well, that was a good fight. You still managed to hold him for the 4 minutes, so that's good.
There's a Reaper right here.
One thing I am noticing is you don't hit tab at all, like ever. You want to be making sure that you're always up to date on who on your team has ultimates, who's going to have ultimates soon, and if the enemy has swapped any heroes at all, by any chance. One little thing, it's another really nitpicky thing. Like, I personally do it, but I don't even know how much it actually helps. Fire Strike deals... Wait, let me see. Yeah, Fire Strike deals 100 damage. So if you see a Fire Strike coming towards you, and you're out of its way, that's good. But if you can drop your shield for the half second it takes for it to pass you, you'll notice that your shield strength is actually going to stay a little bit higher. Because, why is it frozen? There we go. Because you see right there, you just sacrificed 100 HP on your shield, which may or may not be game changing. Probably not, but you know, it's the little things that count in this game.
Behind it. Genji behind. How did that hit me? Behind it. Genji behind. How did that hit me?
That was a nice block. It was kind of like you and your Zarya.
I can't believe I missed 2 shatters this game. That's
Yeah, your shadows are pretty unlucky right now.
They definitely got that.
Hold on. I can do something.
Waste all the time you can. Waste as much time as possible.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, waste as much time as possible.
Oh, Reaper, no, kill Reaper. We can win, we can turn it.
Oh my god, winnable.
Don't charge. Alright, good shit.
Oh my god!
Alright, freeze, dude. Get your mouth a little bit further away.
Oh my god. Nice.
42.
Wow, they're super
and
salty
freeze.
about that. They blew a lot of wolves.
Kill that Reaper.
I'm going to Widow.
Careful, careful, careful. Yeah.
Like, right now, you're shielding yourself, right? Sure, everybody else seems to be a little bit out of position, but you essentially have two things that you could do right now. You could, one, go up with them and shield them, because right now I think they're taking Pharaoh rockets to the face. Or two, tell them to fall back and stay behind the shield. That's up to your judgment. Here, I'd probably be sticking up with them like that. I could get some sneaky fire strikes off around the corners, but it's up to you. But you don't. But you want to make sure that you're protecting your teammate.
Dude, this isn't my favorite spot, to be honest. Yeah, I'm worried.
All right, so here you don't have charge, so that's good. But you just keep left clicking. So that was a wasted shatter, but it's whatever.
Oh shit! I don't care about you, Farah.
Yeah, fuck Pharahs. There's parts of the new Pharah. The Pharah with a Mercy will absolutely destroy your barrier. It's insane. Thankfully, they don't have a Mercy here.
Todd.
Reaper's coming around far left side. Got Reaper on.
So here, you should have just like sent a fire strike down that hallway. It was guaranteed to hit at least somebody.
So hot.
And here you should also just be left clicking them because the ally may walled everybody else off. So
Flanks, fuck.
They're taking the point.
nice spin.
May I saved you?
They are taking
However,
the
it
point.
might have been ideal to use your charge to actually get back onto point rather than aggressively attacking somebody, because you did kill the Moira, but if you didn't kill that Moira, then you would have gotten 0 value out of the charge, whereas if you had dashed directly back to point, you would have gotten some value guaranteed out of that charge. So there it worked out fine, but just generally speaking, sometimes it's better to go for the things that are certain. Also, I'm saying shit like that because in this game you seem to be playing pretty well. Like honestly, this level of play would get you out of gold pretty easily if you just keep at it. So that's why I'm talking about other possibilities that you might be able to do in other games. So there you kept swinging, which was good, but then the instant you got bubbled, you decided to hold up your shield. So like that's the opposite of what you have to do. So there, yeah, you just had to hold up your shield rather than charging, but whatever.
Got it though too.
I know you're hoping to charge the Reaper.
No. Got it.
That's alright though, because now it's either draw or win, so it's a Gucci.
Then we win.
Yes. You got 4 minutes to do so. Now, can I please do the Symmetra thing? This is the perfect time for it.
You can do what you gotta
I'm
do.
fine with that for the flank. Are we all go? Is this a all go around to the side thing or what?
Yeah, left side. Y'all just. Oh hey, what's up, dog?
Oh, trust me, it's annoying.
No, no, dude. We speak the same.
Drag your puppy.
Peanut butter on the
He
nuts.
sounds. He sounds so unhappy.
I had a 14-hour day, dude.
I know.
It's a long ass day.
I'm a lighting director.
Mob business.
Lightning bird. Alright.
I was gonna say, yeah, you're a lighting director. That's how I know you.
Let's chill, dude.
You want me to go
Out
heal? I'll go
Vegas,
heal.
and there's a man. Lighting directors make bank out here, dude.
Where are you?
Well, I'm excited to see this comp work out.
Cost
I'm in new. I'm bad with.
You never pick spots. Walk through it and keep going straight.
That's a bastion.
Oh, that's sad.
You can do it by yourself.
You can still do it 5v6 though. Oh, it's fucking Bastion versus Bastion. Oh shit, son.
I'm gonna pin that. I'm gonna pin that Bastion. No.
Yeah, exactly. Except you need to be communicating that with your Zarya, because it's good. That's probably the only counter your team has to the Bastion is just you pinning it. However, if you just go and straight up charge it, he's probably going to be able to melt your fucking face off before you even reach him. But if you manage to get a Zarya bubble on you as you're charging, you're going to take very little damage and you're going to pin him to the wall and you're going to be perfect. So hopefully you communicate that with your Zarya.
Pin that Bastion up top. I want him. I want him. Get ready to bubble me, Zarya.
Hell yeah, that's the right type of communication.
Oh, so close.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Your Zarya needed to bubble you way earlier.
I was trying to get that mercy, but then I couldn't.
It's all good. Alright, going main.
Otherwise, as far as Bastion counters go, you can also do the similar strategy with Reinhardt and D.Va, and it's honestly probably easier than doing it with Zarya, because the Zarya only actually absorbs like 400 points of damage, whereas the D.Va absorbs unlimited amount of damage within the 2 seconds. So if you and D.Va both fly onto the Bastion with her defense matrix, then you should kill it pretty easily.
Oh, I fucked up.
Oh, that's sad.
Shit. They're all attacking me now.
You're so dead.
Me and Ryan.
So the team's kind of like staggering in there.
What are we gonna do here? I gotta
You
go
really
with
just need to
this.
group
I
up
gotta
and
go with
try.
this.
Um,
I have grabbed.
hold on a second.
Do here. I gotta get off this. Okay.
So Orisa might have been a good idea at the beginning, right? Except now you no longer have a Bastion. So currently you're trying to win by going Orisa. You're thinking about playing with the shield war. You're thinking, I'm just going to out-shield the enemy. Except you're trying to win a shield war against a Bastion without a Bastion. Also, if we look at the team comp real quick, Doomfist against a Bastion is an awful idea. You should bring that up with the Doomfist, tell him to switch to something else. What would be good if he really wanted to play dive was a Genji, would be a Genji, or a Junkrat, or a Pharah. What else? Those would probably be the main three, or Hanzo. One of those four would be ideal, but Doomfist is not a very good counter is not very good against Bastion.
I gotta go, Rissa.
I have grabbed.
Copy. I'm almost there.
Got my
We'll have
ult.
a sim all to block.
It's gonna. That sim ult's shit.
Oh, it's the best. I love it though.
It's enough time.
Yep, I agree. Enough time. Alright.
Go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So there, you really should have just tried to use your right click on him. Oh, that's sad.
Rissa's down.
Oh my god. They're gonna res that. Like,
Yeah, so this ain't gonna work out. The thing is that you can't counter Bastion with a single hero, right? When you see a Bastion, you can easily counter him, but you're just gonna have to get your team in order. You're gonna need shields, you're going to need something to absorb damage, and you're gonna need a lot of spam damage, right? Because the whole point of Bastion is pretty much staying in one spot and making sure that you defeat the enemy shields. So it's literally a shield war. So if you have a Junkrat and a Bastion if you wanted, or a Hanzo or a Pharah, then you could win that shield war and poke the shit out of him. But right now, your team is just way too mixed up. It has, if I remember correctly, it has like a Symmetra, which can work okay with her new right click. And you have a Doomfist, which is absolutely awful. You have a Zarya, which can be useful, but when paired with a dive, right? So when paired with a diva, when paired with a Winston, paired with a Reinhardt, except that Winston is fucking awful against Bastion as well. So ideally, you should have stayed Reinhardt and just tried to communicate that, tried to communicate the pin, the charge better with your Zarya. That was probably your best means of winning this fight right now, because I doubt you're going to be able to actually change the entire team comp, because in gold people are pretty unflexible about that. So I'll see what happens. Maybe you prove me wrong, but
Back up.
I don't think you're going to be able to kill that Bastion anytime soon. Wait a minute, he just got revived. Who killed him? The Zenyatta. Okay then.
Group up. Back up.
So once again, Zenyatta is one of those spam characters, so the spam characters are really good at dealing with Zenyatta. You just need more of them and you'd be fine. So like with Orisa, you might want to tell your off tank to go Roadhog, and like I said, get a DPS to go Junkrat. Because like, look how quickly your shield gets burnt. Oh, that's so sad. And also, I noticed that you tried to use Arisa's defense thing. What the fuck is it called? I don't know. You tried to use Arisa's defense as if you were a Roadhog, and that works nowhere near as well, because Diva's bomb deals 1,000 damage, I think. Hold on a second. Diva bomb damage. Yeah, it deals 1,000 damage. So your defense ability, your harden ability, it cancels half of the damage, right? But look, you have 400 HP. Half of 1,000 is 500. If you're too close to it, it's still gonna kill you. And it dealt like 350 damage to you, meaning that you were effectively useless in the rest of the fight. You got deleted in a quarter of a second by the Bastion. So you can't treat it as Roadhog, even though you do have that reinforced thing. You don't want to be using it to tank like that.
Oh. Last one.
Sorry, we really don't need a sim. We need like a Junkrat.
Oh, how'd she die?
No, I get that. I get it, but I mean, No, I was gonna say 2 healers, but it's fine. I don't care.
What'd they say?
Sorry, we really don't need a sim. We need like a Junkrat.
Yeah, this guy's talking about the Junkrat and all that.
No, I get that. I get it, but I mean, No, I was gonna say 2 healers, but it's fine. I don't care. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. All right, we have to go. Go, 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 go.
Well, that's a rip.
Get in.
Yeah, so that was easily counterable as long as you had coordinated your entire team with, as your ally said, the Junkrat, and then a couple of other things that I had mentioned. As far as supports go for that kind of thing, Zenyatta, Mercy are pretty good for that, because you have the damage from the Zenyatta, you have the damage boost from the Mercy to damage boost the Junkrat or the Pharah, for example, and then at least one shield, which you were playing a shield, so it was perfectly fine. And then an off-tank who is able to absorb damage, like Zarya or Diva, preferably Diva, to be honest. Alright. So that was a very winnable fight, a winnable game. Honestly, you and your team, you all played well. As far as in a gold match. So if you kept playing like that, I'm sure you'll do. Goddamn. I am sure you will do decently, and that you will climb. But it's just working together as a team to counter a Bastion that was your problem here. So just keep that in mind, and next time you see a Bastion, hopefully you'll know how to fuck him up. Otherwise, for example, just real quick, if it's a payload Bastion, a pirate ship Bastion, because I'm sure this could be useful information for you as well, you don't want to be taking it like the same way you would take it on a 2CP. Like here I said, you're either winning the shield war or you are pinning him with a Zarya bubble or a Diva defense matrix, right? However, on a payload, that's much harder to do. So what you should be doing is you should be hiding behind corners, right? And forcing that payload to come to you so you can jump on them directly. So keep that in mind if ever you're trying to counter the pirate ship. Don't try to shield war a pirate ship, and don't try to dive a pirate ship. Let the pirate ship come to you, and you should win that eventually. So good luck climbing. Hope this was useful for you, and have fun.